Hey guys, and welcome back to what should be the end of 999.
Be careful.
I'm trying to remember how I get to there. You know, skip. So this time we're going to go back through 5, which we went through the first time. Right? Or are we going through 4? Yes, we're going through 4, okay. Which is where we first went with Funyun Independent Reading. I don't know why I ended the skip there. You can see it doesn't skip nearly as fast in VLR, especially not when there's sound playing in the background. And then I think now we should be
so I looked the place over.
able to skip to here. Second class caverns, get a map of the ship.
This ship is...
Let's see if we got anything new here. I don't think so.
The actual Titanic?
We haven't done this, so we might as well,
You mean it, like, slipped through time and ended up here? Before the ship sunk on April 14th, 1912?
Huh? What the hell are you smoking?
Huh? Did I get it wrong?
No, that's not... I mean, come on. I mean, slipped through time? Seriously? I was talking about the controversy surrounding the Titanic.
Controversy? What do you mean?
Haven't you heard of it? It's pretty famous, you know? The Titanic had a sister ship that was essentially identical.
That's
It was
not
called the Olympic.
very famous.
Oh,
I don't
yes, I have
think I've
heard of
ever
that.
heard of the
I
Olympic.
think I heard it was troubled by a lot of... And the company that owned it didn't know what to do with it, right? So they made the Olympic up to look just like the brand new Titanic.
That's right. They also took out a huge insurance policy on it before it set sail.
Huh. That would mean that the real Titanic never sank.
Yeah, the ships got swapped.
That sounds
The real Titanic
ridiculous.
was renamed the Olympic in secret. They used it as a passenger ship for more than 20 years.
Hey, wait a minute. Wouldn't that mean it retired in 1935?
Huh? Well, yeah, I guess sometime around then, yeah.
Well, what happened to it after that?
I heard it was dismantled.
Dismantled. And it doesn't matter, does it? Whichever boat the real Titanic was, it doesn't exist anymore. It was either retired and dismantled, or sunk in the Atlantic by the curse.
fucking
But then
curse.
that would mean that this ship is...
Wait, what did you just say?
Huh?
Sank in the Atlantic because of what?
The curse.
What do you mean, a curse?
A curse is a curse. This one is the curse of the Egyptian mummy. Supposedly, the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amun-Ra, which was stolen from a pyramid.
There we go. Okay, so now we're caught back up to the regular nonsense. So that should take me... Yeah, here we go. So we'll hit the match.
Oh yeah, how's your fever? You feeling better now?
I may as well
Hey,
grab all the
come
other
on.
dialogues.
It's not like that.
I guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy. By the way, Jumpy, how did you end up here?
What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I?
And then we've got that already. Wait on a shelf.
Hey, Junpei, you got a minute?
So it gives us the bookmark. Yeah, sure, we take it. And that one I'm not going to do the other one because I see no reason.
You mean like the stock market?
Nah, that's not what I
Not
mean.
take it.
Why the hell would you think that? I mean, yeah, I do stocks too, but
You? A stockbroker?
yeah, got a problem with that?
No, you don't look like the type.
Man, that stuff's just like gambling, you know? All you gotta do is bet on the winning horse. Nothing that hard about it.
You sure sound pretty confident. So, are you betting on winning horses?
Of course I am. You remember a couple years back when the stock for Cradle Pharmaceuticals shot through the roof? Stacked a few bills over that, if I do say so myself.
Hey, how long are you gonna stand around wasting time? Stop screwing around.
The lady has spoken. We better get back to work before we really piss her off. I don't want her beating me up.
Hey, wait! We weren't done!
I mean, we were done.
Okay, I'll get back to work. Damn it.
And then I don't think we need to see anything for picture of the dog. But we may as well see if there was another line to get. I mean, I guess we could actually pick a dog and see what happens.
No, see, you got the head here, and then these are the front paws, and then these are the back paws. See?
Oh, I see it. I guess you've got a point.
How did you know? You're right. I didn't think you would have been able to guess that.
So now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us.
A TV show from Great Britain.
And then we get the nonsense about the morphogen field. So yeah, I think the only thing that matters here is we need to make sure we take the bookmark. And this one, we've got a rusted knife.
A rusty knife? Oh, yeah! There was a novel that had a bunch of stuff in it that described the sinking of the Titanic before it
Now we have
sank.
actually heard of it, so it makes sense to say
Yeah, that's
yes.
the one. The title of the novel is Futility. It was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But
I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened on the Titanic?
yeah,
Well, I heard it was all a hoax.
a hoax.
I heard that the stuff that matched up to the Titanic so well was actually added after it sank. Apparently, the only thing that was the same originally was that a boat ran into an iceberg and sank.
But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident.
Like I said, that was the first print of the book.
It's true, you can
14 years
reprint a
later,
book and
the author
change
heard
things.
about what happened to the Titanic. He figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed some stuff in his novel so that it matched the Titanic exactly.
Really?
Really? There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff.
But that wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking.
It wasn't?
Yep, there were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892.
Okay, yeah, we can skip this now. So that's not what we needed. Maybe it was something in the freezer. Get stuck in the freezer. Yeah, you see how long it hung there because of the noise, the bang noise? Not a very good skip function. Dry ice. I think it's here.
It is kind of weird.
But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure.
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
That's right, instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating. Okay.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
There's a kind of
it's
ice
not
that
water.
doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Huh?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called Ice 9.
9.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance
Alright,
actually
hold on, let me
exists.
go
Wait,
Google up
hold
some
up.
bullshit on this.
So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O.
Apparently it's from Cat's Cradle, a novel by Kurt Vonnegut.
Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the
Question
structure of the
is,
crystallization,
is it
the
a
hardness
liquid or
and
not?
structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new, crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin
Seven told us
crystallizes
about
naturally
this
when cooled to less than
in
64
like the 2
degrees.
room or something, didn't he?
Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like... how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But what does that have to do with Ice 9?
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees... Man.
It'd be the end of the world. At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty... Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow... I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Selfish, isn't he? Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Alright, so... oh look, that was what he knew. He knew a bit about Ice 9. Kurt Vonnegut wrote about Ice 9 in his book Cat's Cradle, although there really is a polymorph of ice known as Ice IX, it isn't solid at room temperature the way that Kurt Vonnegut's Ice 9 is in the story. Additionally, regarding disappearing polymorphs, the stories of chemical compounds spontaneously changing all over the world has not really happened the way that it is described in the game. However, it is true that chemical compounds can spontaneously change if they are around other chemicals, known as disappearing compounds. Interesting. I might actually look up that stuff about this thing. I don't... is there anything about Escape the Freezer that we missed? Maybe they... because I got the key, so I don't think there's going to be anything here, but... I'll take 1 second to look. Bang.
Hey!
Okay, there wasn't anything there. So now... we need to go through the 7 door.
Well, we really don't have a choice now.
Actually, can we just go right to this one?
You think
Oh,
we
this
should
is
go
where
back?
7 brings it up, actually. EDT, I think we've already talked about EDT before.
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Do you know something about it?
I told you I think I do. Just hold on. It was... damn it! Why'd you have to ask me some dumbass question? I totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry, man.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez.
Oh, well. Look, if I remember anything, I'll let you know. All right? Right now, we need to get the hell out of this room, though.
Oh, that was the second key. I guess we get the first key before the door.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Clover, can you hear me? I'm pretty sure this is the second key. We have to give her the 4-leaf clover. It just seems weird that the first key unlocked first, not the second one.
Well, I guess I'd patch it up. Get some cloth and close up the hole.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch.
What if another hole opened?
And then there's the, like, lock socks and shit with Theseus nonsense. And then 7 tells us to hurry up. No, so we missed something in the chemical closet, so let's do that one again. And I guess we just have to pick the other option instead of whatever we picked.
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice. That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
He says that like we're supposed to know what the fuck he's talking about.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia,
Who would remember
right?
that name?
It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were
various bits of stuff floating around in the water, things the drowned carried with them or stuff to dislodge some treasure.
One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood. No nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight.
That doesn't seem
The crew
possible.
got pretty curious about
okay.
what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so undated. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible, but there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month passed, and another. It was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice, Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
All right, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain. You've heard that name before, right?
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. And 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently
he's
he died
the
without ever telling
Gigantic
anyone
and
where
Alice.
Alice was hidden.
That's what
However-
Seven's trying to say.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that?
Forest
Is it
of
a riddle?
Knowledge.
Your guess is as good as mine. So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's
I feel like
hidden
any
somewhere
should
on
be
the
able to figure out what a
Gigantic.
Forest of Knowledge is. So
In other words,
I won't spoil
she's
it
hidden
in case
somewhere
you
on this ship.
can't, but it should be pretty obvious.
Hey, what are you two doing over
Okay,
there?
that's just
Stop
enough.
wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Gee,
Yeah, so it might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
Alice. Huh.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic, even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Did June mention that at all? I don't
Then
think
was that
so.
Egyptian priestess Alice? Did
I
the
mean, I've been
water in
skipping
her
over
body
like a few
become
times,
ice
so I
nine?
don't remember.
No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Okay, there's our second key. For reference, there are urban legends about a mummy that was aboard the Titanic and put a curse on it. However, they seem to be unfounded. The mummy in the urban legend was said to be that of the priestess Amun-Ra. The name All Ice and the whole story about Alice is made up for the game, as well as Dashiell Gordain. He's not a real person. He was made up for the game. So there you go. That's probably the end of the fact checking we're gonna get. And then we don't need to see that one yet. We'll go check Pocket Watch.
Oh,